Caesar keeps laughing.
The fourth wall.
What is up, everyone? Welcome to the AEW Dynamite recap featuring the boys, you know them, you love them. Dirt Sheet Radio Zone, Neek, John, Caesar. Welcome to the Dynamite recap, fellas. What up?
Let's do this.
Hello. Did that video play for y'all? It fucked up for me. It froze. And I was like, am I here?
It's still loading for John.
Do they want me?
The stream's already over.
Have I been mutiny? Is this it?
Mutiny? They spell that?
Well, John.
Mutie. The racist mutant slur.
Sorry you had to find out this way, John, but we're taking over.
It's the men's hair club now.
God,
oh, he's back.
I'm back. I'm on crack. I'm here, man. I'm sorry for my camera issues. My wife took the camera out, didn't have the courtesy to plug it back in. Here we go. Well, I mean, not plug the camera in. You got to plug the battery in, but you know how that goes. So you get my beautiful Star Wars render that is about 4 years old now. It needs to be changed. I mean, I still look like that. You kind of don't really change after a certain year.
After a certain age range, you just look the same for like the next 10 years.
I'm still there. But
that's still the same John. And guess what, guys? We still have the same world champion that we've had the last few months. Let's go. That was a match, guys. AEW World Championship was on the line. Swerve Strickland defended the world title against Roderick friggin' Strong. Next Strong.
Yeah.
Guys, that was a heck of a match. What do you think?
I got a quick question about the match.
Yeah.
Before the match. What are you guys calling it? The World Heavyweight or the World title? Because they keep going back and forth, I've noticed.
I don't know if I've heard them call it the World Heavyweight Championship.
I've heard like once in a blue moon.
It occasionally slips through, especially from like a Taz or a Shivani, I think.
Yeah, so it's kind of throwing me a little bit.
I imagine you'll get wrestlers saying that, but it's never officially the World Heavyweight Championship. Because I remember thinking, like, it's going to be hard to call it a heavyweight championship, especially early in AEW, because they didn't have many heavyweights. So it was like world title.
Oh, world is fine. Less words.
Yeah,
personally,
I Wardlow and Brian Cage, and that was it for the heavyweight division at the time.
I like heavyweight.
AEW Flyweight Championship.
Interim Bantam Fly Heavy Cruiser. Just stick all these words together.
Never.
John, I wish I understood what you said there.
He's going through the drive-thru or just going for a walk on his phone.
Ooh, I'm down.
I was testing the comment section for a friend of ours, and it worked. So
it worked.
Join us.
Join us.
Yeah.
But Fellas, they gave this
That-
a potential for a 60-minute match. Could you imagine if they took the full 60 minutes and this would have still technically been going on right now?
They should have given half.
I'm always suspicious of 60-minute time limit at fucking 7 or 6:39 or whatever fucking time it was for you guys.
9:49.
I always prefer they say TV time remaining, because it kind of
Makes sense.
it just makes sense. But yeah, man, they went out there and they killed it. No surprise from Roderick for me. It's one of those things where I feel like most people who know, like we all know Roderick Strong is one of the best wrestlers in the world, but it's still somehow understated. It just doesn't get enough credit for it. Goes out and proves it over and over again.
Yeah, that's always been like, I'll say, like one of my issues with Roddy Strong over the years was I loved him as a wrestler, but I've always had trouble getting into him as like a character, like over the years. And this is like relatively recent, like one of the first times where I've really dug his character work in addition to his wrestling work.
See, I was more impressed when they actually got going. They gave him time. The Undisputed Kingdom stayed ringside, and they let them go for at least 5 or so minutes, and then eventually they kind of did their stupid shenanigans. So it did prove that both of them can go in the ring, one-on-one.
Right, John, what were you gonna say?
Oh no, I was just gonna say that I agreed with you when it came to Roderick Strong and characters. Like over the years, we've had more fun just making things up. Like we were chanting shitty little boots at him because his boots are little, like because he didn't have much in the way of character. But I feel like the AEW Roddy has been the most character-driven Roddy that we've seen, and I know people are starting to get tired of it because it doesn't have another dimension other than him like saying the name funny and just being there. But
and screaming.
Again, he gets in that fucking ring, and it is neck strong. It's exactly what I remember it being. I'm always happy to see it.
Yeah, we got the element of this match too, where if Roderick would have just entered into the Casino Gauntlet match at number 10, this match probably would never have happened.
What if he was number 10?
I would throw him in there. Listen, when we had that match, did we get to talk about that when it happened? I don't think we had.
No, we
didn't get to, because they didn't tell us that Roddy was supposed to be the 10th guy until after the show was over.
Yeah. So, listen, that gauntlet match was awesome. It was tremendous. You had some of the best wrestlers throughout the world in there. And imagine if you threw Roddy in there. Ooh, that would have been fire.
There were people that had problems with the way that Roderick Strong got to this match. And I sometimes feel like that's one of those things where it's like, this is... Will Ospreay has a title match announced. Someone else gets announced for a title match in between. This happens all the time, and I always have an issue with it. But I thought it was funny to see people take take a real issue with Roderick Strong getting a title shot here. It's like, it's not that big of a deal. It gave us a great match. Swerve retained. That was just such a big discourse. Like, why is Roderick Strong in a title match? He just lost to Will Ospreay. Do you agree with that?
Caesar, what do you think?
Honestly, I think he should get a title shot. Yeah. I mean, like you were saying, he can go in the ring. He has shown it time after time. I mean, where the hell are the rankings is my only question.
No, that's exactly the thing, is this completely violated the rankings that they keep saying they're back. This is going to rank someone up.
Those fucking rankings are long, long gone, my friends. I would stop even bringing those up anymore before we get in trouble. Nah. No, but seriously.
Tony Schiavone keeps bringing them up. I don't know.
They're long gone. That motherfucker's a liar. Like, there's literally long gone. They haven't come up on a Saturday. They haven't been refreshed in fucking months.
They fired the guy in charge of it.
If there's a ranking, it only exists in Tony Schiavone's notes.
That's being nosy.
Basically. Anyway, I enjoyed this match. I enjoyed the ending. I enjoyed Swerve celebrating with the old lady to close the show.
Yes.
He's got such a champion's aura. He just knows what to do. Like he's taking what he's given and he's trying to make it better. He's not just like, this is what they gave me, it's not enough. He's like, this is what they gave me, I'm making shit work. he just the way he went out there, like he knew the show was closing. So I'm gonna go pose up by this old lady so we can fade away while she does my dance. Like that's real champ shit.
Oh
That's
yeah.
he mentioned they did a promo on Collision that they closed with Swerve Strickland. He mentioned he did that shit at his house. Like it was off of being proactive, shooting a promo as world champion, sending it into work. Like, hey, can we air this on Collision tomorrow? And they're like, hell yeah. As a matter of fact, it's going to close the show because you're the champion and we love you. That's an incredible relationship. I don't want to see it end. So I'm really happy Swerve is in AEW. I'm so happy that he's being rewarded for his loyalty to the company, too. I don't know if you guys saw the clips from Busted Open Radio over the weekend.
Oh yes.
Yeah, and if you didn't, I guess a quick summary of that is there was a quick back and forth between Swerve and Bubba Ray where it was about PLE and PPV, but that didn't matter as much as Mark Henry basically echoing some of the discourse about Swerve's booking as world champion, and Swerve just kind of shutting it down immediately, like, well, actually, no, these are the things that we're doing, and I'm really satisfied with him. I'm telling you, man, that's a real world champion right there. I'm really interested in seeing what they're going to do with him because this Ospreay match happening at Forbidden Door, when they first announced it, I was of the mindset that meant that Ospreay would get a rematch at Wembley, and for whatever reason, I was just so sure that Ospreay was going to get that Wembley World Title, and I feel like they're telling us over and over again, no, and we're not listening. They gave Ospreay another belt, and we're like, nah, he's going to unify it. They gave him a world title match next month, and we're like, nah, he'll get a rematch. Like, I think they're literally trying to sell us, no, Will Ospreay is not main eventing this fucking stadium on his first year here over the rest of the roster that's been here for fucking 5 years. So I'm starting to believe you, Tony Khan. I think I understand.
Tony's like, fellas, please. I will be
Just
doing
let
this.
it go.
No. But listen, like, even just beyond being the champ, like, he's the company man, honestly. Because I was 100% thinking and buying into the idea that, like, you really want to build the company around Will Ospreay. I mean, that's still true, but at the same time, you also want to build your company around a guy like Swerve Strickland. Whoa, that was echo.
Yeah, that was loud.
Dude, I kind of have an idea of a direction they can go in, but I guess we have to talk about the rest of the show first because it has to do with the Bryan Danielson promo that aired right before this match.
Yeah, that was something.
That was fucking excellent. But yeah.
We'll get right to there. But first, back to the beginning. Let's see. We had at the very start of the show another amazing talent that you should definitely build your whole company around, and that is Maxwell Jacob Friedman, MJF. He's out here. He wants to put that roster on notice. He's done shilling. He's done shilling. Go buy his merch on AEWshop.com.
You're welcome.
He was calling out everyone. He was calling out Okada. He was calling out Swerve. He was calling out Ospreay.
Can I say
yes?
Can I say that? He said he was going to revert back to his old self, right? And he definitely did. I thought that and I know this might bother some people. But I don't care. I don't know if I like this promo as much as everybody else did. I thought it was a little shallow, a little I didn't think it had the meat I would have wanted from MJF's return promo where he puts the roster on notice. He kind of came out there and he gave them little bitchy insults. Like they didn't have any sauce behind them. Like, Okada calls himself the Rainmaker, but his physique doesn't look like he can afford a gym membership. And I'm like, shut the fuck up. What do you say? Swerve called himself a business mogul, but he didn't graduate or some shit like that?
Yeah.
I thought it picked up when Roosh came out.
Absolutely.
That was intense when he did.
So Roosh ends up coming out. He says that Roosh thing he does, he confronts MJF. MJF, I will give a complete credit here. He maintained continuity, and he did one of my favorite things that wrestlers do in promos, which is build up how aggressive and impressive and amazing that other person is right across from you, And I appreciated, too, the continuity that he mentioned. Roosh, I know how good you are. I paid you to take out Bryan Danielson.
Mm-hmm.
And we had just a whole barnyard brawl, so to speak, when you had these two guys going at it. And they mentioned Roosh got a temper, and MJF, he knows how to easily pick apart anyone, you name it. He can be that bully and he can get you to go. And these two guys are duking it out right as the referee corps runs down, security runs down. Christopher Daniels was there, Cheesecake was there. They were pulling them back, and that was a problem. Like you said, John, that's where it really picked up. And it was just, if it wasn't a bloodbath, it would have been. And the best part, too, we got to say, was MJF when he started speaking some Spanish there.
Dude,
that was fucking that was hilarious.
Do we have the translation with that?
Yeah, I'm a Puerto Rican man. I translated it into the I translated it while I was doing the results, which you all should check out on comicbookclick.com/JerseRadio.
Save the page.
Save the page. Yeah, so he basically told Roosh to suck his dick in Spanish. He said, "Oye, cabrón, chingame," which means, "Hey, you motherfucker, suck my dick."
You stupid asshole.
They did censor it though. They censored it in Spanish. So I was like, "Oh no, somebody at the station knows what they're doing." Somebody at the station knows what they're doing.
Who they pay off.
But yeah,
John, like you were saying, with MJF's promo in particular, it definitely felt like that low-hanging fruit, and it almost reminded me of when he had that promo battle on Thanksgiving against CM Punk in Chicago.
Ooh.
The first half of that promo battle, where because I wanted to believe that it was a shift on purpose. I still remember that it was like 18 minutes, and MJF, they did like 2 rounds of promos, and I think MJF went first, and it was like low-hanging bullshit, and then the second one he does this heartfelt promo, and I'm like, wait, the son of a bitch has the skill to do it, so like you're doing the other stuff on purpose. So that's kind of how I felt back. Like, we were back tonight, and I was like, you son of a bitch. Like, you came out here and you fucking phoned it in. But it did it. Like I said, it did the job. Like, it did the job. It reestablished him at the top. It fucking set him up into feuds with Okada, Ospreay, and Swerve, the 3 fucking top guys there.
Guys, yeah.
Literally everyone.
Roosh coming out and saying that he's been working and while MJF was gone was really funny, because I feel like Roosh was gone the entire time MJF was gone.
Yeah, Roosh was nowhere near there.
He had like a little bit of work, and that's it.
I think he might have gotten the message confused, because he was like, "Where's my celebration? Where's my party?" I think he meant to say, like, "I just came back too." Like, where the fuck is my party? But he's like, "I've been here all this time." I was like, "No, you fucking weren't. I know. I'm a fan of Roosh. I've been patiently waiting for you to come back."
Yeah, so I just pulled up right now Cage Match. Roosh, after World's End, doesn't wrestle for 4 months until Collision, where he took on Martin Stone, which is cool to see him again. He was jacked too in that appearance.
That's like 2 weeks ago. What the fuck?
Yeah, 427. And okay,
6 weeks ago. I didn't wrestle
Stone's giant arms.
Danny Burch,
Yep. And he took on some jobber on Rampage, and then he
some jobber
beat Brother Zay a couple weeks ago, and it was just 3 matches. That's it.
I've been here, brother, for 6 weeks while you've been out bullshitting.
Okay, Rusho. Okay.
But listen, I dug it. I dig this match. I think that MJF came back and got into it with Roosh, because this is gonna slap. This match is gonna go crazy. Roosh is such a great wrestler. I hate seeing him in a position where he has to lose, though. Not a fan of that. Especially after being gone for so long and coming back to lose. So, like, what are you doing after that? Losing more? I don't know.
Mm-hmm. Yep. And that's like the worst part, too, is it was cool to see him in the Continental Classic, but you knew he wasn't going to win it.
No.
And it was nice that he at least got to surpass a few people, but he was like so middle of the line, which sucks because Roosh is awesome.
That's why I wanted after the Continental Classic for him to get some kind of push, but he didn't. He hasn't really. I mean, I guess he disappeared for a little bit for whatever personal reasons that might have been. But he's back and he's on TV with MJF, and I'm just hoping that after the MJF thing is done, they will continue to use Roosh and not as a loser. Hopefully, he can drive his own story vehicle.
Yeah, and you got to remember too, like Jose, the assistant, got released. Who knows where Preston Vance and Jalisco are?
Honestly, though, there's a lot of talk about Roosh, and I mean, for what it's worth, man, he's loyal to his family and his friends, right? The general idea is that he wants them with him all the time, but they drag him down. In that he is great on his own, and having to fit all the people that he wants in a storyline has held him back, even in AEW. So I'm kind of hoping that with all the weight and extra weight gone, that maybe now we'll see some stuff with meat when it comes to Roosh. But again, that's going to have to be after the MJF thing. Unless, of course, the MJF thing has some extra legs that we're not sure about yet.
It could.
So I was rewatching, as you can probably tell, I'm in a WCW mood, and one of the things I watched was the Cruiserweight Battle Royal at Slamboree 1998. One of my favorite things about that match was Chris Jericho's amazing promo skills popping out in 98, and just one by one, as every entrant in the Battle Royal is coming out, it's all the different cruiserweights. He is just roasting them, and that is what I wish we would have got from MJF, because it feels like in this promo, he's trying to put everyone on notice, yet he only calls out like 4 or 5 guys.
I mean, I get that too. I get that he was just like, I guess the idea is like, MJF doesn't even rate everybody else, but fucking, I get it. Jesus found a way in. Oh, we're gonna talk about that learning tree in a little bit, brother. Trust me, I got some words for the learning tree. Hi, guys.
That page looks familiar.
We will. That does. It's a very familiar page. Go follow that if you haven't already.
Make it your homepage.
If anyone else has anything else to throw out there about MJF Roosh, otherwise we'll move onwards. Actually, there's one more point I want to look at. I saw some people discussing this on Facebook and Twitter. What do you guys think of this? MJF calling out specifically Okada, Swerve, Ospreay. I've seen some people calling this the new generation pillars. What say you?
I think that I feel like Oppenheimer, that I never should have started using that term at all. Because
what have I done?
I thought it was a joke. Like, I thought it was funny. It was like, yeah, I watch a lot of All Japan, the 4 Pillars. Look, they're booking around 4 guys. That's funny. And then when they turned it into a T-shirt and a storyline, I was like, fuck. Fuck. It's you're not supposed to do that. It's not yours. Give it back. Hold on. It was a joke. But yeah, I mean, I would just call them the Big Four, like that's
Four,
what they are. Yeah.
Caesar, what do you think?
I don't know the word to use, but like I could easily sit here and be like, these 4 guys are the top pillars, and then 2 seconds after be another guy, 4 guys. So it's hard to really pick who would I'd call a top 4.
We talking about right now. Forget tomorrow. Don't worry about what they're gonna do to them. But it feels like, yeah, if I imagine MJF, Okada, Swerve, Ospreay, the top layer. Right under them, you got the guys who can always get slipped right into the top layer without an issue. The Danielsons, the Moxleys, and then the people under them who can come up next. Hopefully, the Takeshas and the Garcias. They've been focusing on Garcia a bit, and I guess we'll talk about that in a little bit too. But
yeah, John says it best, I'd say. There's the top, and the next one, and the next one.
Well, yeah. We went from the 4 of the tippy top to 4 that you could slide in anywhere against truly one of those top guys. We had an international championship, number 1 contenders, fatal 4-way. Ray Phoenix, Jay Lethal, KOR, Orange freaking Cassidy. I love any time I hear "Where's My Mind" play for Orange. That always has that big match feel to it.
Love it.
And listen, I was also so happy that we got to also see Jay Lethal showcase some of his skills because it feels like he's kind of lost in the shuffle the last few years.
You know, as I wouldn't hate Jay Lethal versus Will Ospreay. Actually, I know Lethal doesn't have any story significance on TV right now for that bored people. I don't give a fuck about that. You know, I'm here for wrestling. Jay Lethal and Will Ospreay would have a banger. But as soon as Ray Phoenix came out, and I realized this is for a shot at Will Ospreay, I would have nothing else. I needed Ray to win that.
You know, here's the interesting thing. So I got to watch this event with a very special lady. Everyone, shout out to Mama Laraco, who maybe
Mama Laraco,
Mama,
who might potentially be on one of these episodes with us in the near future.
Yes,
always
invited. Always invited.
See that? I'm guarantee she's watching. So
get her a chair.
Exactly.
No, Nick, get the hell out of your chair. Get the fuck out of there.
You're fired.
That was the plan. Is I was going to just give her like my spot. And I was just going to go on my phone. And
the whole stream is just her. That's it. Just the whole hour.
But no, like, so she was picking Jay Lethal for this. And I thought that would have been really cool. And in my brain, I was thinking, oh, it's got to be, a rematch with KOR, or maybe get like another banger that it felt like they were building towards, I am getting all blurry now. The other banger that they had with like Orange Cassidy from the Gauntlet. I did not expect Phoenix. Like that was
pretty sweet.
I needed it. As soon as Ray Phoenix walked out there, the possibility flashed in my brain, and I said, "Need."
No, for sure. And I also want to appreciate too, after the match, the gruesome twosome, as my mom called them, Trent Beretta and Don Callis made their way out to ringside. Like we said, Ray Phoenix got the victory, and Orange was in a perfect position to be attacked. Orange goes outside of the ring, grabs a steel chain. Running in, we had almost a glimpse of from the old Chris Statlander. Statlander rushes in there, tells Orange to stop. All of a sudden, we hear a voice.
Yeah.
It's Stokely.
Listen, Stokely.
Stat hits Orange just when you think Orange is going to hit a lady. Out comes Willow Nightingale, saving the day and almost opening up the door to the possibility. We've heard Tony Khan talk about, mixed tag teams and mixed tag team championships down the line, but
OC and Willow?
God, I hope not.
OC and Willow.
I hope not.
I like the match. It's the idea of titles that makes me a little sick.
Oh, okay.
The match would be great. I think, I love Willow. I love Orange Cassidy, Chris Statlander, Trent. I love seeing AEW original talent going at it together. It's very cool. On top of that, I like this position that they have Willow Nightingale in, especially if she's in there with Orange Cassidy, because Orange Cassidy's position in the company is like workhorse. He's who they call, he's like Moxley. Honestly, people don't even see it that way, but he honestly is. When Moxley's not available, guess who else? Guess who's available to get put in the slot? Orange fucking
my mind.
So I'd love to see Willow mixing it up with these guys, and I love to see Chris get elevated, man. Fuck, she's been here for so long, and every time they go to do something with her, something bad happens. So here's hoping.
Stat curse. No, and that was the thing. Oh, I'm sorry, Stat. But no, you hit the nail perfectly on the head, John. It's awesome to see. It's such a great use for these are AEW originals, because when you think about it, there's not very many left anymore. And especially too, you got Orange Cassidy, who is that workhorse, and he's very protected at that as well. So when you get a victory over Orange Cassidy, it's huge. It's big. Just
Mox. Oh wow, Alicia Fox. Oh, Alicia Tout got a job with AEW. I thought I guess I thought she would get a job when the company first started, but I imagine. Oh God, I hate to say. I don't even want to say what I think. I just think it's suspicious timing. I was like, man, she wasn't able to get a job at AEW before. I wonder what changed. Oh yeah, and that's. You know how that go. It's wrestling. Nepotism. It just is what it is. You don't get mad at it. You just accept it.
Just scroll down to the personal life section. Those of you who are just learning about this. All right, but speaking of AEW originals, we go onwards to the arrival of the hero of tonight, who we will see consistently throughout the night. The Learning Tree.
Hi, guys.
Do you sound deaf during these segments, or was it just me?
Yeah, he's screaming.
He talking. Yeah,
he's
not just.
He's screaming. He wants you to understand.
Is that how
it's emphasis, everybody?
We're doing that with streams now.
Hi,
this
guys.
Fucking segment in particular. First, I love this shit. God damn it. He walks up to the damn cat. He walks up to the driver and he's like, as a licensed professional driver, I think it's important for you to come to a full stop before you let us out.
You need to keep that voice too.
Sets the tone for the entire night. And he's like, Lonnie, let me show you how to put these guys in frame.
Hey.
And he's absolutely bad at it. Does not have them in frame. They're on the corner of the camera, actually. Fucking Big Bill, just randomly appreciating the sun in the sky. I appreciate everything in life.
He's so high for those segments.
Brian Keith, the goddamn star of all these segments. If you had some respect for Jericho, you wouldn't have a shaky ass camera.
Like, fuck. Guys,
come on, Lonnie.
Can I make a prediction on this one with Jericho? I got a feeling one episode he's gonna actually go to the ring and be like, guys, you don't know how to wrestle. As a full-time veteran of this many years, he's gonna do that one night.
As the first world champion.
No, as one of the pillars of AEW, the first world champion, and the man of the Learning Tree.
He's gonna come out mid-match between two early wrestlers and just try to teach them. Let me put them that armbar. Our friend of the page, Danny Jackpot, he believes that this storyline feels like it's building towards an end for Chris Jericho at some point. What do you guys think about that?
I'm
not sure where you got the idea from. Maybe you guys picked up on something that I didn't.
I did not. I honestly think Jericho is going to be one of those immortalized wrestlers that will consistently appear for decades. He's going to be the same type of guy that makes appearances. Even if he's not wrestling, he's going to consistently be around like a Ric Flair.
I don't see end in the cards with this character.
I honestly don't want it to end yet. I'm not sure what it's
I don't know how you would end it, though, if you did. That's a problem.
I'm really not sure what it's building towards in the first place. That's the whole thing.
That's the point. It's weird, so we're like talking about it.
But I do enjoy these segments. I have enjoyed these segments today. I mean, we might as well talk about them all at once.
Honestly, yeah, that's what I was gonna say. Like, let's just shoot through all of them. What was the following one? Was this the one with 2.0?
Yeah.
Oh my god, that was great.
If you aren't aware, they did weave in these Chris Jericho Learning Tree segments throughout the night, where he's giving people the most obvious and sometimes condescending advice that he could. And then later on in the night, they show him backstage. And he walks up to 2.0 and he's like, how much better are your lives on the other side of the learning tree, guys? He's like, we used to tell Daddy Magic, you congrats on your new commentary job. Chin up and enunciate. And he fucking tells Angelo Parker, feeding a baby or dealing with a fussy baby, it's easy. It's an acronym. They need to eat, they need activity, they need to sleep, and they need yourself. It's easy.
I hate how exaggerated it is, but it's great.
Brian Keith tells Angelo Parker, his baby better respect Chris Jericho.
That whole segment with 2.0 broke me so hard. I don't remember the last time I've ever laughed so hard at a wrestling segment.
So good.
We need.
Brian Keith is great. I don't know what the fuck people. I don't know what even I was thinking, having concern. When he came out here and he's entertained me more outside of the ring here than he's done his entire time in AEW.
Oh, absolutely. This has added such a great dimension to the character, who I still think he should have been, utilized as a hired gun, as in the name Bounty Hunter, but the way he's being used as the Bad Apple is fantastic. And I got to give a huge shout out as well to the Giant Redwood. Big Bill has been fantastic in this.
So
the Redwood and the Bad Apple.
Exactly.
Do we see a fourth person joining is the question.
I think there's room, but I honestly don't hate if they just left it the way it was.
So we're in the same boat then. That the three piece would be everything.
Yep.
Yeah, I like how it is. I could absolutely see them adding another person or two. I don't want them to go any further though.
I kind of wonder if it's supposed to end up with the same amount of people that he's had in both his previous groups. It's usually it's him, it's a heater, it's a tag team, and it's a secondary.
I can see that.
He's got the heater, he's got Big Bill, he's got the secondary Brian Keefe. I guess he would need to bring in a tag team, and he actually is inviting Private Party out to a segment next week. And
with the learning tree.
With the learning tree. He said they should here's some advice.
Open up.
Parties are more entertaining when they're public. Then everyone can join. But
shout out to the public party. Oh, and then don't forget too, we got a even better look at the goat cheesecake in there too.
I thought I started thinking about this. I started thinking about Private Party or Public Party apparently joining fucking the Jericho Learning Tree. Because why would they not just be invited to a match next week against Big Bill and Brian Keefe? Instead, they were invited out to a segment where Isaiah kind of brushed it off, but Quinn was like, "No, bro, let's see what he has to say." So that would be a really weird. I mean, honestly, but Private Party's not doing anything else, so like, I'm not mad at it.
Plus, I gave a huge shout out to the fact that we saw Mark Quinn again because he's been missing in action for the last 3 or 4 weeks now since coming back.
That is true. That is true.
I'm down. I'm definitely down. I know a lot of people are still like Jericho sucks, and they think he's falling far. I think that's I think you can think he sucks, and that's cool. I think thinking he objectively fell is silly. But you know, like I said, one of Jericho's biggest assets in his whole career was the ability to shift and reinvent himself when things weren't working. And I feel like that's exactly what we're seeing here. That's exactly what he's doing right now. It's not like
Jericho.
Of course, this that all implies that this isn't some temporary thing that's just going to end in 6 months. This is Chris Jericho from now on, because that's usually how it is.
Yeah, exactly. And now my question to you guys: do we foresee any specific teams or other individuals apart from the potential for the public party? Caesar, what do you think?
I have a think about that one for a few minutes. There's a lot of names. Hell, what if they brought in somebody new? That's an idea.
Oh shit, Motor City Machine Gun is still out there, aren't they?
No, don't manifest that yet.
God damn it! I honestly don't see the connection either, but I don't know the connection between Jericho, fucking Big Bill, and Brian Keefe either. So at this point, the more random, I think, the more fun I'd have with this fucking
Top Flights. Let's go.
Top Flight. Let's go. Action Andretti. Full circle.
Because they had a match, remember, and he won. It was like 5 months ago, probably. No, longer than that.
That's the learning tree that Action Andretti was under.
You see?
Oh, this is
properly. It's the learning tree.
The learning tree.
The learning tree. Oh, that's perfect. Andretti, yes. And then
Andretti tree?
Martins.
Action tree?
Yeah, no,
what they would be.
I gotta say though, I gotta say I'm fully on board. Like I've pulled up a seat under the learning tree. I'm sitting here.
Us.
I want an apple name. I want to be named after an apple. I'm here, bro. Let me in.
We on a phone call now?
Oh, we lost John's audio, but I heard him say, "Let me in." Well, we will sit under the learning tree, and
he's literally under the tree right now, isn't he?
From the tree? Oh no!
Sorry. The learning tree.
The learning tree. All right, so we go from one vet to another. We go from the tree to CD. Christopher Daniels comes out to announce the next match in the TNT Championship qualifiers. It's going to be a ladder match at the Forbidden Door. Mark Briscoe versus Brian Cage. Another battle of two veterans. Yes, Caesar.
Did you hear the boys on the booth talking about when remember, it's Christopher Daniels, not CD. Got to address him by his proper given name. That's the thing. And then you hear them like, "Hey, he's got an entrance. Why don't you have an entrance?" And then Taz is like, "I don't want an entrance." It's like, what the hell? Shut up. He's the damn in charge interim manager. Well, yeah.
You know what's actually funny? If you go to an AEW show, Taz absolutely does have an entrance, but it's a song they're not willing to pay license fee for, so it just never is on TV.
Do what MJF does then.
It comes out to War Machine in live events, like the old ECW theme.
Ooh.
You have an entrance, and it's really cool. But Darcy Daddy, that's right, I made that up earlier.
Live in a phone call.
I'm not sure why I haven't been using that forever.
Gotta maintain that. It's gonna be the predecessor. You went from Johnny Dirtsheet, your new gimmick, Dirty Daddy.
Johnny Dirtsheet, the Dirty Daddy.
I thought it was Johnny Learning Tree.
Sit under the dirt sheets.
Sit under the dirty sheet. That's nasty. Anyway, I wanted to say, Christopher Daniels coming out and making the announcements for Tony Khan or whatever is fine. It's gonna take me some getting used to. It feels WWE-ish, and I'm like, oh, well, that's strange, but it's okay. You know,
It's Adam Pearce.
You know what? Beyond the bald guy in a suit aspect, just the AEW hasn't had a commissioner character. Like someone comes out and does that, so it feels weird. It's not like I hate it. It's just like this is gonna take a bit to settle in. But
plus, it also felt like they almost were trying to set up, in a way, Kenny Omega for that role, and then they just didn't anymore.
They definitely did. He was like, I have the power. Oh, they killed him. Well, I mean, I guess that's the story. Like, he would have been the guy, but they killed him. So I get that. I'm more just weird about it. And we did get this Mark Briscoe versus Brian Cage match. I was like, okay, that's sick. I don't mind that they're actually another thing I liked. Announcing the match during the show. They never do that, so I don't mind it when it happens. It actually feels pretty cool. Max is
to that unpredictability factor. John, by chance, are you far away from your microphone at all?
I am on cell phone.
Got it. But yeah, so this was awesome. It was a great battle between two veterans, and it's one of those matches too where it's going to be another case of Brian Cage taking the loss, but gosh, he's so good at what he does. I would love for them to push this guy.
Bro, he said he has 6 years on his contract. He's got to be fucking lying, right? There's no way.
They signed him for 6 years, so they know that's like 5 years of abuse and then 1 year of like a decent, steady push.
If that.
Honestly. But Briscoe bloodied up his mouth, and quite frankly, this was as brutal of a brawl as you could imagine. You had the power of Cage, and you had the good old redneck kung fu of Briscoe. That was fantastic. Don Callis brought Takeshita out, with Takeshita wearing the biggest pants I have ever seen.
The pantaloons.
Buy them on Shein.com.
Looks
he
incredible. He looks like a fucking anime character in real life. He's got Dragon Ball swag. He's got Toriyama swag.
Next week, his hair's going to be blonde. Watch. It's going to be blonde next week.
No, man.
Can you imagine if I'm right?
That was a great match between Brian Cage and Mark Briscoe there. I wanted to say 6 years is nuts. I feel like maybe he read his contract wrong. Because, what kind of contract is that? What even is the year? What kind of contract is that?
Is he being pulled into the vortex?
7-year contract? Did they even sign those? What the fuck is what's is it 3 to 5?
Interesting numbers.
Is John being pulled into the vortex?
They gave him 2 3-year contracts, and that's that. I can't believe John is drowning as we speak.
It sounds like John's going through a vortex or a tunnel. Or Tin Can.
It's just giving us the scoop live and in color. Johnny Dirtsheet.
Under the learning tree.
Yeah, he's busy at the learning tree, guys. Come on.
Johnny Learning Tree.
Here he is. What is he doing here?
In 4K.
I am underwater.
Just points at the roof.
My head was underwater. Oh, what song was that? Oh, we lost him.
Yeah. Okay, where were we?
Yo, so
wrestling acclaimed. Nope, I think I missed something.
Oh no, we gotta get back to the match because remember, then you got Jack Perry also in there. So now you have the TNT Championship ladder match.
Did
they came out to watch? You have Jack Perry watching it from the back, and Perry cuts his own promo saying that it doesn't matter how much Tony Khan tries to screw him, the TNT Championship will be his, as the EVP Destiny predicted.
I sense some shenanigans are going to go down. Shenanigans, full tilt, full send, all the way. There's something going to go down. Will he win the title?
Max
I don't know.
For it.
Well, no, Mac's always honest about that stuff. Like I said, am I for it? I don't know. I'm not against it, that's for sure. But it'll be interesting. I'll give it that.
No, absolutely. Like I am here. The three guys that we got in there, you got Briscoe, you got Takeshita, you got Jack Perry. I am 100% A-okay with
who was the next one?
Those guys being in there.
Was that's the next match? No.
It seems like they're just kind of going about like, this is the match. This is going to be the next match. These two guys could potentially be in it. Boom. That's how they're doing it.
I'm thinking they didn't announce it tonight because if they announce it tonight, it's for Rampage. So maybe they're going to announce things on Rampage for Collision. That's awesome. My guess.
And I do appreciate, too, that it's the spirit of the TNT Championship. Because remember, that started off as the Open Challenge title, right?
Mm-hmm.
Every week. So I do appreciate that it seems like it's almost like Open Challenge qualifiers in a way, that it's just spontaneous. These two guys.
What they should do for one night is, not one night, for like one match. And this is borrowing from another wrestling promotion I saw this on. They should have two wrestlers come to the ring with Christopher Daniels, both in hood and robes, and then he'll announce this person, they'll take off the robe, and then this person, and then boom, match. That'd be a really rad way to do it.
That kind of opened up the door in my brain, if you will, to the
door?
Having an aspect, if you will, of the TNT title casino ladder match. I missed that ever since John started talking about that. Like, imagine too, we got to have like a Joker or something in this, right?
You know what would be really wicked, because it is technically Forbidden Door season, is a certain possibility from last week's gauntlet match showing up. Do you know who I'm talking about?
There's quite a few people from that gauntlet.
I meant like that are from across the pond that were in the gauntlet.
Like
Harlem Cry. If I may be less subtle, I was referring to what if Shota Umino showed up? He did pretty good in that match.
No, absolutely. John's back. No,
yay!
I say throw in a New Japan guy, throw in a CMLL
guy. I did not fix it. I did not fix it at all.
We can hear you.
We'll see for how long. I did want to say that this TNT Championship match, not having guys from Mexico or Japan, would be really awkward in the middle of this Forbidden Door show. Like, oh, hey, it's time for the America match. Everybody go get your shit.
USA.
No Canada guys.
I still think about the guys that sat next to me. Again, not to brag, I was at the original Forbidden Door.
Ooh.
The guys behind me who for like a majority of the matches wanted to start chanting USA.
Well, you know what? They should make it a World Cup. Fuck it. Next year,
that'd be so cool.
The World Cup. Listen, one of my favorite TNA concepts was the fucking World Cup, or the X Cup, but Team Canada, legendary shit. Anyway, where were we? My beautiful host, Nick.
It's iconic. Well, we got through the TNT ladder match qualifier. John, if you had any last points you want to throw on there.
Oh, yeah. Takeshita in the ladder match is great. When the fuck did Jack Perry get a spot? I don't even think Tony Schiavone knew, because he was like, he's got to compete in a match.
I don't think he's had a match yet for it.
EVPs are fighting him on it. I think EVPs wanted to make sure he's in there.
I mean, I believe that. That's kind of what I thought. Like, I already thought he was in the match. I thought they put him in the match.
That's what I thought.
No, and then they took him out, remember?
No, they gave him the title, but then they weren't able to. So that's why I figured they put him in the match. Like, okay, well, we'll put you in the match then. But I guess not.
I guess he's not official, but he's one of those names everyone's thinking in there. So
he's in there.
We'll throw him in. He's
in the fucking match. Max says it's Rampage Live this week. No, but they filmed Mina Shirakawa versus
our hopes and dreams,
Serena D. So I will be there in spirit.
You'll be in her dressing room.
All right.
Where's John? The learning tree. That's why he's not answering us today.
I am so thrown off because we went through all the Jericho segments.
But before we switch over, actually, to kind of add on to what John was saying, yeah, like I said, maybe Shota shows up, maybe Jeff Cobb, one of the CMLL guys. Somebody would be sweet to throw in there just to do a 360 and catch everyone off guard.
Absolutely. Yeah, Mystico or any luchador that they have.
Hechicero was a pretty badass mofo in that shit. So
Hechicero is great, but he's such a submission wrestler that I don't want him in a ladder match.
I want him in a submission-based match. That dude is crazy. I love him.
So you guys said Mystico and who you think would be good?
Well, Mystico Hiromu, if you want to get, because you need a Mexico guy, you need a Japan guy. I'd love to get Takahashi in there. Of course, you have to imagine that you don't want to kill. You don't want to kill Takahashi, man. And Daryl. Get Daryl in there.
Does that count as cheating though in the tournament matches?
Yes.
Hey! If Daryl's in the ring, he knows the problem he's got to deal with. Okay. If you know, you know.
Well, we had the segment too, following that earlier moment where Willow Nightingale and Orange Cassidy were able to kind of hold their ground, so to speak, and Willow was able to defend Orange. Willow cuts a promo talking about being betrayed by the people she thought were friends that she took to Chuck E. Cheese to celebrate with her. And
that shit ain't right. That shit ain't right.
Exactly. You go to Chuck E. Cheese with someone, you're bound for life. You can't betray like that. That ain't cool.
Mm-hmm.
Orange comes up. He's a real one. He shows solidarity with her. And I think this is where it happens. This is addressing. This is going to be it. Mixed tag team, Orange and Willow.
Tag team, yes. Belts. ...
Tony
That's not happening.
Tony
this man don't. That's not happening. I'll fight him for it. I don't even want women's tag titles because we don't have enough women's tag teams. You're talking about mixed tag teams? That's not even a thing. That's not even real. That's just something that happens when people have problems and they have to team up together. It's not. You're not a mixed tag team. That's not a thing. You're a valet. I'm a wrestler. No.
Wow.
Well, we go from Renee and her fancy double denim on one side of the screen to her jumping over to the other side when she goes and talks with Swerve, Strickland, and Prince Nana. Nana always wanted to be promoting his coffee brand. Swerve has a signed copy of a contract that he wants to send to Will Ospreay and maybe some coffee beans. We're getting ourselves ready for Forbidden Door. The only thing standing in Swerve's way, like we just talked about earlier at the start of the show, is the match with Roddy.
He also called out MJF.
Addressing, yes, MJF's promo from earlier on in the night. He'll deal with him when he is ready. I think that's going to be a banger when it happens.
Oh, man.
Did we skip a segment?
Maybe?
We went through like all the Jericho stuff, and then we got to get to...
We had the Acclaim segment?
Wait, what?
I thought we had a Acclaim segment, but I don't know if
that's about that.
That's later.
Oh, God, I have those images way too early.
What we did skip, though, was Hook Joe and the varsity athletes. Tony Nese
and the
is going to be
Funyuns.
going to mess with a man's Funyuns. Now, that's another thing you don't do. You don't betray someone when they've taken you to Chuck E. Cheese. You don't mess with a guy's Funyuns.
I got an issue. I got a problem.
Sir. John, what's the problem? What's the big
Go on.
We put Hook together with Samoa Joe.
Right.
Fine. That's fine. They're killers. It's a bit random. I'll accept it. And then the first thing we do is we put them with fucking Tony Nese. The fuck? What the fuck? Why aren't they just right into it? There's no reason in the world why we are building Joe and Hook. What the fuck?
Also, where's Shibata?
Just get right into it. Like, whatever you're going to do, get into it. This fucking waiting for after Forbidden Door shit. Get into it. Just run it under. Don't have the fucking match at the pay-per-view. What the fuck? This is sickening to see them going together and now. And it could be cool, but we're fucking dealing with Tony Nese. And he's like, you're still eating chips after a year? Like, shut the fuck up. Like, this is the stupidest fucking shit I've ever fucking seen.
3% body fat, Tony Nese.
This stuff is bad for you. No, it's not. And now we're gonna fight over fucking chips. Hook fighting over chips in year 1 is great. Hook fighting over chips in year 3 is fucking bullshit. I'm sick of this shit. Fucking sick of this shit.
Oh, and they did it. They made a
Maybe he
big
should
deal.
go to
It was on
NXT.
like Collision of the varsity athletes, making sure to give a promo that goes over all three of them. And we never see vignettes either in AEW, so that was crazy as well.
Listen, maybe we send Hook to NXT and we just call it a loss. We just like it's fine. It's okay. It'll be fine. They'll give him a gimmick. They'll make him like Lexus King. Like he'll get a bunch
I
of
wonder.
you know when you take a car to the Los Santos Customs and it comes out the other side. That's what they did with Lexus King. That's what they'll do with Hook. He just comes out painted up.
They wouldn't call him Hook. They'd call him something different.
Why doesn't get to be Hook? He's Dustin Gordon, the son of Taz.
I swear to God, if he debuts in NXT and that's his name, I'm gonna be so shocked.
Making
his way to the ring, Dustin Gordon. Standing at how tall is he? Like 5'5", 5'7"? I don't know. From New York is Dustin Gordon.
I fucking hate it. I hate it. I'm never gonna. I hate it.
Here's what they could have easily done instead of fighting over Funyuns, right? Like Tony Nese and Hook have a lot of unfinished business from their feud a couple years back. Tony Nese and Hook never did have their singles one-on-one match.
No,
it became Hookhausen versus Tony Nese and Sterling. And remember, too, Tony Nese was watching all the different Hook matches for a certain point in time. They never did have that one-on-one match. So they had a lot of unfinished business there that they could have easily brought up.
They could have jumped Joe and Hook in the middle of that segment, grabbed the mic, and been like, we're trying to take an opportunity. And I would have been like, you know what? That's cool as fuck. We'll see you next week. They went out there playing around and talking about bullshit, and it's Tony Nese. Like that's three strikes. Tony Nese is a great wrestler, but after all these years, I think we're accustomed to see him as an enhancement talent. He's a guy who comes out and he loses when you need him to. I don't remember the last time he won something significant. What is it, 205 Live?
Yeah, cruiserweight title on 205 Live. That was it.
Fuck that.
I remember they gave him a little bit of a streak when he first signed with AEW. That was pretty cool.
Just so that he can lose. No, they did not that it fizzled out. Is that they gave him the win so that he can lose, but then they never gave him any more wins.
Remember, they wanted him to be a big deal because like man was like virtually like undefeated for like 6 to 8 months, unless it was like one of like the bigger name guys. And that was the whole thing with like keeping him protected during the match with Hook. Remember, because that was why Sterling got wrecked.
They did have Sterling involved a lot, and he's been wasted. He got replaced by Stokely so hard.
Oh yeah.
There's room for more than one charismatic manager.
Wrestling has more than one charismatic manager.
So apparently he lost to Ethan Page in a fight without honor that was pretty good. We talked about that.
We forgot about it. We forgot all about it.
We can watch those reviews and honestly be surprised at all the things we say. It all fucking blends in. Like, wow, that's a different person.
That did happen. Wow, I completely forgot about that.
Like 10 years ago.
All right, well, moving on. The Acclaimed.
Oh, this was friggin' hilarious.
Rap time, y'all. Rap dedicated to the EVPs. You getting ready to roast them? It's time. Caster's got it ready out. You got the hype guy right there with Anthony Bowens, strong and flex, and you talk about being all nice and strong. You got Daddy Ass coming out there and record scratch. The Jackson 2 pulls the music on them. I don't even think we should talk about this, guys. I think we need to just cut this segment.
Done.
Cut this segment mid-show like they did.
It's a Swerve promo.
Also, I don't know why we have why we've involved the Acclaimed with this Elite thing, but I guess they aren't doing anything else.
Maybe the Young Bucks. Don't want to say it wrong.
Oh my gosh. That's right. He does have a little pencil stash. What the fuck is he doing with that thing?
I thought you would have said a flamethrower.
I keep getting away with it.
I don't know. I'm kind of over the Acclaimed, and they haven't really done anything significant or interesting in a while.
Let Bowens be a single star.
I don't know I don't even know. Like, I don't even know which one I would go with. Probably Anthony Bowens, but I always thought I always thought Anthony Bowens was the better wrestler. This doesn't have anything to do with what 'cause sometimes there's a lot of discourse around Max Caster because he likes to be a dick online and he's a heel, and that's just what they do. But people on the internet sometimes, they get lost in their own viewpoints and shit. So they're like, I hate him. I hope he loses his job or whatever. I don't want that. I just think Anthony Bowens is a better wrestler.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, I
I
could agree with
love
that.
Caster. He's a great talker, and I love it if they keep him as like a rap character or whatnot. I just think Bowens is going to be the better wrestler and the bigger star when the time comes to break him up. And that's what he wants to do.
Either. I can agree with that fully.
He gets invited to like big Hollywood parties and shit. It's cool. He can be. He's buff. He's big as fuck though. He's built as fuck too. Like they should probably run with him as a singles guy. Honestly,
all the matches I've seen of like both guys as singles, Max does more work on the mic and Anthony does more work in the ring. In all honesty,
yeah, that's pretty much how it is. Yeah.
I remember too, like Bowens early on wasn't the greatest on the mic, but as the years went on, he has gotten so good.
Oh, easily.
Like he's like at certain moments when it comes to like being emotional on the mic and to really feel what he's saying, Bowens is better than Caster now.
I dig it. He cut a promo. What is it? A couple weeks ago against what is Bullet Club Gold?
Yeah.
Yeah. Fire. I'm down. I need this. I need it in my life.
Later in 2024, let's do it.
I don't know. Possibly.
So,
well, you hear the scream in the background. Does that mean it's time to talk about another wrestling match finally? We had
Let's
a lot
go.
of promos in between there.
We did skip one.
Did we?
No, that was the joke.
You know what? We did.
Wait, what?
We had the announcement, Forbidden Door. It's going to be title versus title.
Oh, my God.
Title for title.
Yes. Fuck yes. This is going to go crazy. Their first match was awesome. Title for title probably means New Japan is going to pivot back to where it was meant to be. This belt was literally made for Mercedes Moné. Sorry, Stephanie. It's something to hand that over to Mama and hand it to where it belongs.
Mama Moné is home.
It's a great thing for New Japan to have a belt on Mercedes as well. These are the things that she can take with her to all the coolest Disney shit, all the premieres. She's wearing these logos that don't say WWE on them. People are asking questions. What is that? TBS? Who the fuck? What the fuck? What did you win, a cooking contest? What the fuck?
This is what they'll probably say too.
Man, like I said, I'm excited for this shit. These two women's matches that they have on this card, fucking top notch, top tier.
No, for sure. Going on there now we can finally talk about some wrestling on this wrestling program. All right, and we talked about Mama coming home with Mercedes. Daddy came home. Wheeler Yuta is back. Hideo Wives, Blackpool Combat Club taking on CMLL. Remember, Yuta was going through the crowd with a rose in his mouth. It's no wonder this guy is so charming enough to steal everyone's wife. Volador Jr., Magnus, Esfinge, and Rukido taking on Wheeler Yuta, Claudio Castagnoli, John Moxley, and Bryan Danielson. That was a match. That was something. I don't even know what to say about this match. John, what do you have to say about this?
I thought it was really cool that we could slap a whole ass full-on lucha libre match in the middle of this American television show. It was like as soon as Blackpool Combat Club walked out, it was like we're in a whole different neighborhood. We're in Nitro.
That's how it felt. That's how this show felt to me.
We're watching WCW Nitro, and it didn't suck.
Good era.
No, they came out, and it had a whole different feeling. Like, look at these fucking men. This shit is not attached to the rest of the show, or at least that's how it felt. And the match was basically lucha rules. There was a lot of loose not tagging going on because that's how it is. I mean, in lucha, you don't usually tag; you just roll out the ring and somebody else gets in sometimes. But I had a lot of fun. they played this like if it was the end of the feud, which I was like, oh, what the fuck?
Yeah, that's what it seems.
That's weird. Like, okay, the pay-per-view's in like 2-3 weeks, 4 weeks. But okay, so what are we doing with CMLL then?
Oh, that's a choice.
So yeah, great stuff. I love like I said, I didn't know the CMLL guys before they were coming to AEW, so learning about them now, I'm excited to see them when they come out. Volador Jr., fucking awesome.
Yeah, I would love to throw Volador in there in the names that could be in that ladder match for the TNT title.
I want him to have a singles match. What the fuck is John not John Moxley. John Moxley's defending the title. I want him to have a singles match though. I really want to see him. I want to see him. I've heard a lot of things about him, and I haven't had the time to search out singles matches with him. But I've heard he's incredible.
Oh yeah.
So I'd like to see something a little less car crashy with him in it.
And that's honestly what this match itself entailed, was just pure car crash bonanza. Caesar, what'd you think?
Honestly, kind of like John was saying, I didn't know a lot of these guys, so I just sat there attentively, just watching how they do their moves, because it was a first for me for the CMLL guys. But it was awesome. Honestly, like some of the things they pulled off, some of the spots, and of course, Wheeler's actually back and actually in the ring. And yeah, it was just an all-out good 4-on-4 match. No crazy BS, no outside interference kind of stuff. That's always an awesome match to see.
Yeah, no, absolutely, man. And the biggest thing too was the styles of the CMLL guys fit in perfectly with everything, against the Blackpool Combat Club. And I thought it was absolutely hilarious too when the CMLL guys came out and like 3 of them were all like completely united, and then he just had as Fiend Hay is just like, I'm doing my own thing.
Yeah, I don't know you guys.
I don't know who these guys are.
¿Qué pasó? No.
But it was great. Great though. It felt completely like, unity on this side versus unity on that side. And I think the Contron video was just Volador Jr. on repeat. I don't think they changed the names on
that's all it said. It just like faded out, then faded in, then faded out. We don't really the other guys.
They
have one guy.
The placeholder that they made, and they didn't change anything with it.
That wasn't in the budget. They forgot to change everything.
Oh, but yeah. So speaking of being able to change and affect the budget, following this, we got to hear a little bit from the EVPs, and the Acclaim was trying to talk to them, but security was in the way. And if you guys notice, one of the security guards, friend of the show, Manny Lemons.
I didn't. Right. I didn't notice. That's interesting.
There we go. But yeah, so the EVPs, they wanna make sure that Acclaimed know that they don't run the show, they do. But speaking of running things, who else the EVPs talk to? The patriarchy. I love how interwoven all of the storytelling was tonight when it came down to the backstage segments, at least. So that was really cool to be able to see. And the patriarchy, they want revenge. They want another title shot. EVPs right now are just kind of like, let's take a little step back, so to speak. Yeah.
If I got to be honest, my favorite part was like, I confused the brothers, so I'm not even gonna try and pick which one it was. But the one who was talking about it was like, if it was our way, we had it our way, we would be handing out belts. You'd have gold. Yeah. You'd have gold. I was like, oh my god, please don't.
More championships, let's go. And this is where
start making up belts.
Mixed titles, let's go. The
mixed trios belts, trios belts, 6-man, 12-man.
Christian Cage, let's go.
No, there'd be just a belt from Mother Wayne. That's all it'd be. The Mother Wayne Championship.
The Mother of the Year Championship. Mother Wayne taking.
You don't have one of those? I just start making up crap now. Now that I do agree with you. Like everything's like you've got the story from over here with like this, but then that somehow fits with that over there. But then the one back there in the back fits with the story at the front of the road. It's like whoa, hold on. That's confusing the crap, but it stays entertaining somehow, which is great.
Absolutely, John. It sounds like you're going to say something there.
No, I was choking on some smoke. But
we want to talk about someone that brings the smoke every time he's in the ring. Daniel Garcia had a banger video package that was playing, talking all about the journey, and it also brought up the health issues from that car accident that he dealt with years back before AEW.
Please be better. I
am really, really weird about what they're doing with him because they keep starting him. And it's like, fuck. And it looked like they would. He should have won the TNT championship from Christian. There's no fucking what is this, Revolution? Christian does what? He loses it to Edge. Edge has all those matches, which are great. He could have had those without the title. He ends up vacating it anyway. Daniel Garcia should have been TNT champion. I'm fucking forever going to say that because it derails his momentum. After the Christian thing, he's done nothing.
Occasionally comes out and dances, and now Daddy Magic's okay with him dancing.
And for no reason. And they kept looking like they were going to go away from the dancing, like the dancing was costing him, and then he kept dancing. I don't know.
Too made it seem like they were going to do a match between Daddy Magic and Garcia because of the dancing.
And they didn't. They didn't do anything. They left it alone. Yeah, it's like they want to do stuff with him, but they don't know what to do with him. That fucking frustrates me. Because he should be on a higher level on the card now. Or they try to treat him like it, but he isn't. They haven't really fixed that. That bothers me. And now they got him challenging Will Ospreay. So we're building all this again so he can lose again? Are you fucking kidding me?
Stop. He should be in that ladder match. He should be a top contender.
Yep.
Should be champion.
It's messed up. Well, as we get through it, we have the final match that we'll need to be discussing. For anyone who is just joining us, we talked about the main event at the very start of the show, but will be the main event of this broadcast. Mariah May took on Saraya. Mariah May was actually wearing Outcast Tony Storm.
Ooh, the DLC.
She was in DLC mode, exactly. This was truly one of the matches of all time. Tony Storm and Luther came out. Tony Storm, of course, taking her spot on commentary because she is tremendous and very entertaining. And Saraya came out, of course, with Zach Knight, Zach Zodiac, whatever they want to call him, and Harley.
Cameron.
First, we got to say Zach Knight versus Luther. Book it.
Ladder match. Cannon on a pole. There you go.
It got pretty brutal, at least from what I was seeing during the commercial break. Like there was a lot of water drinking, and then there was a lot of like just bashing going on.
I have one honest question. I mean, I can't obviously say it to Mariah's face, but I'll say it to you guys. How does she not have like a damn dare I say concussion when she does those headshot spots she always does? Like I know it's
forget the fucking headbutt. Yeah. She got spiked on a fucking DDT. It was horrifying.
I mean, so I'm saying, all these spots she's done had happened to her. I'm like, holy shit.
No, man. No, but she went onto the top of her dome and Paige hit that rampage DDT. She hooked her so fucking hard and pulled it all the way down, and I thought she was dead.
She's still lying in the ring. No, that's my only question. Is damn, dude, how are you? How?
The match, it seemed like they wanted to go away from some of the comedy stuff while they were wrestling. It started off a little quirky, but then it got brutal. And then the match goes towards the finish when it starts in a figure four and then gets rolled up cloverleaf style. And it just is more and more stuff kept getting added into there. And poor Mariah May is just locked into the submission hold while Tony Storm is just helplessly watching from the sidelines.
I thought Luther would have done something at least.
He can't get involved. Those are women. I also didn't. I didn't expect Mariah May to lose here for some reason.
Right?
I was like, I feel like that says a lot to how they positioned her on the card or in the women's division. She feels like a bigger deal than Saraya right now. And Saraya getting that win was probably better for her in the long run if they're going to do something, unless she's going to win for no reason. Which I guess it did serve her story purpose though, because they had to get jumped, and that got to bring us Mina Shirakawa. Exactly. Mina's going to be facing Storm. They're doing a full-on, I don't even know, it's like a lesbian angle.
Yeah, so at this point, this is where I want John to take over the rest of explaining everything.
Let's just sit back.
The idea is that Mariah May, she's torn between her current idol, Tony Storm, and her longtime friend, Mina Shirakawa. They were tag team champions together. They lived together. They did, in Mina's words, secret things together. They have a relationship. So she never broke it off. They left on good terms, and Mina is here to reclaim what's hers. And Tony Storm's not going to let it go. They're fighting for the title, but they're fighting for Mariah May's heart. It is a beautiful Pride Month story that's going to lead to a excellent wrestling match at the pay-per-view. I just think some people are. I think they're all very pretty and they're having a lot of fun doing what they're doing. And so I've seen some people say like, one particular guy, he's really weird. Or, he kind of, but I thought maybe maybe other people feel the same way, where it's like maybe they feel like these girls are being too sexual. But I'm like, that's not the same as the things they were doing in the past in the industry. They weren't given real opportunities, and the only opportunities they were given was where they had to do sexual stuff that they weren't comfortable with. This is like for mostly fucking Tony Storm's entire fucking run has been full of weird sexual innuendos, and it's like it's her own idea. Like she's in control of her own sexuality. Like it's not the same as some corporate mandate to do something.
Did you guys hear her story to? And this is another great reference to Wendy Richter on the post-show media scrum.
Yes,
that was so funny.
That was fucking great. It was erotic wrestling, erotic grappling. Excuse me,
grappling.
Oh, even then, like they're so like campy and absurd and just extra with it. Like it's so not how a lot of people are building towards. And I think a lot of people are just seeing the screenshots and making assumptions from there, not actually watching it.
Mm-hmm.
It's actually, and it's so funny. Like if you're watching it, it's actually really funny as fuck. It's Mina, and Mina does things like this in Stardom. Like Mina and Micah co-lead a faction, VXS. And before they co-led the faction, the ongoing story was that Micah was obsessed with Mina's giant tits because they're giant, and she just wants to squeeze them. And they're like, it's not even like a real like thing. It's just like campy Joshi wrestling things. Like it's just funny. This is what they do. But if you don't understand the culture, I mean, I get it. I get it. I enjoy it. I think it's great. They're gonna have a great match. Nothing you say can take it from me, and nothing's gonna stop them from being the way they are. I enjoyed the shit out of the entire post match, and I can't wait to see more of that.
Well, you said nothing's gonna stop. Guess what?
Never gonna stop, man.
Never gonna stop. Bryan Danielson said the same thing. You're not going to stop him. He isn't necessarily done yet. He wants to go out with a bang in the Owen Hart tournament. This is the final year of his full-time career. It hasn't been going how he wanted it to. He's been losing big match after big match after big match. He got reminded, though, when Wheeler Yuta, the wife stealer himself, came back and got that, what was it, the seatbelt pinfall victory against the CMLL guys. That inspired him, so he wants to go and take that Owen Hart Cup, and he wants to go after the World Championship once more.
Okay, listen to me, right?
Story time.
It's by now it's very well known. Bryan Danielson is my greatest wrestler to ever live, to ever breathe, and step into a ring. So when he said the words World Championship, I got really excited for a second. And I was like, I had to stop.
Through his camera.
I had to stop and think and really look at what's happening here. Bryan is legitimately going to retire from his full-time career in October. They are not going to. They shouldn't anyway. They shouldn't present this story of Bryan saying something like, my career is coming to an end, I want to be world champion, knowing the fan base has such a hunger for him to win this belt that he has never held, without a plan to at least have him touch it before this is over. But I keep thinking, but it wouldn't fit. Like, what's the timeline on this? Well, obviously, as a fan, I'm always thinking, how can we get the belt to Bryan Danielson? Where is Bryan Danielson? We should always know where Bryan Danielson is at. But before his career's been over,
you know where your Danielson is.
before his career comes to an end, I've been kind of thinking like, man, how could we get him to be world champion? They set this up here tonight where you want him to be world champion, but I believe Nigel McGuinness is going to cost him that shot, and they're going to get to have his retirement match at Wembley. But you've still created the urge for Bryan to become world champion. How do you satisfy that? Tacoma, Washington, the home state of the world champion and Bryan Danielson.
Ooh.
Why wouldn't we? Why is it so bad to give Bryan Danielson the world championship in his retirement match and fucking vacate it and do the C2 or a year-end tournament for the world championship? Is it so bad to give Bryan the world championship at Wrestle Dream in Tacoma, Washington? If no, and I mean that, like, if it is bad, you should fucking say so.
I'm sorry, I'm just thinking of the idea that like Danielson does like full, like the almost inverse of the CM Punk thing, where Punk wins the title and then Moxley's got to be the interim champ. Where now Moxley's like, oh great, another interim title run.
Damn it.
No, but it's like he's done so much for the company. He's done like so much for independent wrestlers and wrestlers that go through a system like WWE and come out on the other side. He busted down doors for people like that are in the company now for the style that they have today. It would not be the worst thing in the world to allow him to go out on top. They did it with Sting. What if AEW becomes a company where people retire on top? We just shift the whole fucking tradition. Flip it on its fucking head.
Great shows.
I wouldn't hate it. I'm just saying Bryan Danielson getting to be world champion just once. Please. God damn it. Don't fucking play with me.
Book it.
Which brings back up the reminder that Tony Schiavone almost messed up, but then they brought back up. And it's on the Wikipedia page as well. Swerve Strickland or Will Ospreay will defend the world championship against whoever wins the men's Owen Hart Cup. And by that same token, Tony Storm or Mina Shirakawa will defend the title against the women's cup winner.
We will see. What are you thinking about the cups? If you could have a men's and women's winner, what do you
Danielson.
Same, actually.
Listen, like he if anyone would represent everything that Owen Hart would represent, it would be Danielson.
I think if there's a world, if Nigel couldn't get clear, then yes, because I'm attached to this idea of Nigel being able to have one last match in front of 50,000 people with Bryan Danielson in fucking Wembley, just because they're one of my favorite matches and one of their best matches ever. One of the most legendary matches they've ever had was in the UK, the ROH Unified show in 2006. Where fucking Bryan unifies the world championship with a pure title. That famous spot of Nigel getting his head slammed into the ring post over and over and over again. Listen, this is AEW where they tend to service that kind of fan and that idea.
18 years later.
I don't feel weird for imagining this what would be a far-fetched dream in any other situation.
No, I can see that. In the event they don't do that, or they save that for another All-In, not that. I don't know.
I don't think they could ever. That's why I'm so attached to it, because it can never happen again. I feel like it's never going to be more possible than it is right now. As a matter of fact, if it doesn't happen, it will be even more impossible than it's ever been. Like, so that's
remember, he's retiring from full time. That doesn't mean he wouldn't make a one-off appearance later.
Yeah, but Nigel's been inspired just in the last 12 months. Since he wanted to have the match at Wembley last year, and they were like, "You're in no shape, no condition to do it," but he had the gear made. He had the gear made anyway. There's one more year since then of Nigel conditioning himself. It won't be more possible than it's ever been. Like it just won't. It has to happen this year, or it never will. And I mean, if it doesn't,
I just think back to bad luck Nigel, though.
But if it doesn't, then Bryan as world champion is the best consolation prize that there is.
Caesar, what are you thinking?
I'm just listening to you guys, and I completely agree. Like, if anybody's gonna be the one to win the men's tournament, it's gonna be Danielson, and then of course the whole scenario that John set up with those two Wembley championship. I said I'm waiting for someone to say something wrong. So far, I'm just hearing yes, and yeah.
See, like that's one of the things too is the fact that Danielson is the only person in the whole tournament this year that we know about right now as well. So
that we care about seeing.
But I mean,
no one else has been announced yet.
I just love Bryan Danielson, and I don't think I care who else is in the fucking tournament. It doesn't matter who else is in the tournament. I'm gonna love Bryan to win anyway.
It's Peter Avalon.
Oh my god!
Die.
If he shows up, Nick.
Stole my
shout out that Peter Avalon had a match recently. I didn't realize he was still employed.
Wasn't he part of with like GCW?
Took on Satnam Singh.
Where? On Rampage?
Was it Rampage or Collision? It was one of the recent shows.
I could have sworn he was somewhere else. That I heard him. But he's by himself though, not with the whole Wingman.
I don't know what's going on with Benoni. He's just
we know where
out of there.
We know where Nemeth is. We know where Nemeth is. We know where Drake is, and we know where Avalon is. Benoni, no idea.
Yeah, that was Rampage. This was Rampage, baby. But yeah,
was it Rampage?
That was the last Rampage. Well, that was the rest of AEW Dynamite, unless you guys saw something we missed because we kind of jumped around a little bit.
A little bit's an understatement. But those are the moments we have that everyone talks about and listens and watches. Hey, what about that thing? Yeah, I got a question for you.
Yes, sir.
What about that thing your brother does? You always talk about. Remind me again. Your brother does that thing.
Case Project.
That's the one.
Yes. So, bringing us to our everything blanks of the night, we have the Cold Case Project on YouTube. It's a channel that focuses on all kinds of disappearances, murders, and other cold cases. You like true crime content? Go check that out. My brother Tony runs that, and that will lead us into our jobber of the night. Ooh. That was a lot of talking there that I just did. Oh gosh, where do we even go for a jobber of the night?
I don't really know. Normally, it's like at least I have like 3 people I pick from, and then pick one. So I don't know. You guys got one?
John, do you know who you're gonna pick for this?
My jobber of the night?
Yeah.
I didn't really think about it. I don't know who sucked. I guess
that's the hard part.
Nobody sucked tonight.
I wouldn't say. I mean, I guess Soraya just for no, that's fucked up. Zach Knight, but he's getting a paycheck to do nothing. I guess that's not the worst thing.
All right, I got my pick. Unless John, you have yours. I didn't want to interrupt you there.
Nope.
All right. Well, I'm going to go with he came off as pretty great. So we're choosing some great people here. And we say jobber with all the reverence and love in the world, but I'm unfortunately going to have to say Roosh. It sucks. Roosh is great, but at the same time, he's going in here just to lose.
It's going to be a good match, though.
That does.
It'll be a banger.
You know what? I think I figured out who my jobber is, and I kind of agree with the points you brought up earlier, but I also see my own opinion on it being kind of the same. Is the whole Samoa Joe and Hook. It has a big WTF question mark across it. Because, again, what are they doing? Are they mentoring? Is he just hanging out? Do they get beers after the show? Like, what are they doing?
That I'll agree with you, but it's not because they're together. I'll agree with you because the fucking segment sucked. These stupid ass fucking Tony Nese. Get the fuck out of here.
Yeah,
but I don't mind that they're together because the whole story is that Joe respects him after he stood up to him in the ring during that World Championship match and during their little feud. So Joe was like, "I like this little killer. You can stay with me, little killer."
I'll buy your Funyuns for you next week.
He does. He's like a big Uncle Joe. He buys him Funyuns. You want chips, kid?
I'll give you the big bag.
Well, and then there's also the Taz used to mentor Samoa Joe on screen in TNA. So like,
shit, that's even better.
Yeah, that's a cool thing.
Long-term story.
The chairman's advance. But yeah, I mean, I guess we can take it to our megastar.
need pyros.
Brought to us by Monk.com. Make sure you go get your personal aromatherapy diffusers. Use promo code DSR10. There is a variety of flavors for you that are a bunch of mixes. Usually it's about like 3 things going into each diffuser. You're going to have happy, you're going to have relaxed. They even have one called sexy. So go check it out.
I need that one.
Wait. Megastar of the night. Before we get into that, I also want to say visit comicbookclick.com/JerseyRadio. God fucking damn it. Don't you dare leave us in the dark.
What about that Falcon one?
We still got 2 more to get through.
You got this, guys. Marathon. Let's go.
You have to stick those in there because people are still watching. Hi.
Megastar. All right, let's go in reverse order. John, who's the Megastar?
Megastar of the night. We go ahead and say fucking Swerve Strickland.
I was just like,
No, actually bullshit. My Megastar of the night is Mina Shirakawa. Mina Shirakawa comes out there in fucking 30 seconds of screen time and lights up the place. I want to see more of her all the time. Actually, I'm thinking Stardom should be fucking worried because I've noticed that she's had the kind of reaction that I've seen other wrestlers have when they're like, holy shit, I did not know America was so open for me. Like, I am gonna go live over there now. I'm sorry.
Bye.
Goodbye. This is awesome. Goodbye. I'm never coming back. Did you see how big that fucking arena was? I am never going back.
holy shit, that's great.
Who's up now? Is that you, Caesar, or is that me?
I'll take the reins on this one. I don't even give a shit.
All right.
I'll just say it in simple way, in simple terms, in something other simple word. The fatal 4-way with the 4 of those guys, that was a hell of a match. They're Megastar of the night. That match, every way you look, someone was flying, someone was kicking, someone was something.
Oh, Jay Lethal getting a Megastar of the night tonight. Let's go.
Yeah, I was on the edge of my couch, like just going like this, just rocking, because I was like, I don't know where this is gonna go. And then of course, Ray Phoenix gets the dub. We got that match next week. Let's freaking go.
Oh man. No, you're totally right. And this was a great episode of Dynamite. Reminded me of some of the older ones, especially at the start. Oh, it's a hard choice. I would love to say everyone, pull what the EVPs said, maybe give someone some shoes, but I'm not going
to. That's you, by the way.
There is one person in particular who got such a great reaction out of me tonight. Made me feel a lot of different ways. Particularly, I got to laugh a lot, which I've really needed. So I'm gonna give it to the Learning Tree.
The learning tree.
I was glad we all did that. Yeah, Jericho. Listen, he knew how to turn everything around. He is that good, and I can't think of the last time we did give him Megastar of the night in particular. And his segments, they didn't feel like they were a waste of time. They were actually fun. They were well paced. I enjoyed them. And again, the one with 2.0 made me genuinely laugh. And it's been one of those weeks where I needed that.
8-time world champion, 3-time parent. That's how I want to introduce myself to people from now on.
Start practicing it now, John.
Make sure the baby respects Chris Jericho.
You know what they should do with the Learning Tree segments, actually, I just thought about, is do it on the stage. Because then the tree can be taller than Big Bill. That's what I think.
Then it's going to be a CGI tree. I like the cardboard tree. It's so fucking dumb.
What could they add to that now, I wonder?
The Geritron 5000.
Would it be 6,000?
5,000.
Oh my god. So put the thing on the stage then and call it the Jeritree. The Learning Co? No, the Jeritree.
Hi guys. Fuck yeah. Hell yeah.
If you would like to know exactly where you will be able to find all the news about the Jeritree, the
Jericho,
and any other aspect, make sure you go to comicbookclick.com/dirtsheetradio and go under that Learning Tree.
Learning Tree.
The Learning Tree.
The Learning Tree.
And that progresses us into our segment of the night.
Oh, let me go first.
Okay, John, go.
Bang! Everything that happened after fucking Mariah made Saraya. That was awesome. From Mina's outfit to the back and forth to the chest to chest, they're fucking ridiculous.
Following that, I'll just go to the opposite side of the segment. I can always say the one that made me laugh, but I already kind of talked about that, so I feel like it's cheating. So I'm gonna go with the pure intensity and emotion that came from Bryan Danielson speaking about going out with a bang.
Honestly, I know we're not big fans of this version of this segments because he's had better ones, but it was just the part of the back and forth between MJF and Roosh and how heated it got in 2 languages.
Hey, we're allowed to like whatever we want. If you thought MJF cut a great promo, you thought MJF cut a great promo.
Yeah, it was like it caught me off guard. I was just sitting there, all of a sudden he turned around and he yelled it in Spanish, and I was like, "Whoa, edgy,
edgy." And hey, if you ever go and visit the website that we just talked about, when we come comicbookclick.com/dirtsheetradio, one of the things you can find on there is actually access to the DSR Shopify store.
Woo!
Get your DSR merch on there. Go grab it. You know you want
Literally
to. And that
grab
is what
it.
leads us into the match of the night.
We're just making up segments as we go. It's like the 4th thing.
Remember when we had like 2 of these? Now we have 4.
Why is it 4?
Because Nick is an innovator and a genius.
I didn't even add match of the night. Someone else put that in there. I can't.
Pretty soon we put outfit of the night.
No way.
Someone else left that in there. The only one I added was segment.
No fucking way.
Someone else threw that one in there.
One of the podcast is like, let me just help you out because you're missing one.
We're like 10 different segments pretty soon for the end of the show.
My original intention was for match and segment to be the same thing, but you know what? If they want to split it up, so be it.
Where's sign of the night? Where's person in the crowd of the night?
We'll get there eventually. There's still time. We'll get to 8.
We'll have a whole half hour of random crap.
Exactly. Anyone want to throw out there? Otherwise, I can go first
for match of the night.
I
already said mine, so I'll say it again and make it easy. Was the fatal 4-way that match? Like I said, left, right, up, down, center. Take your pick. They were just going. Like you blinked and shit flew. And then you blinked again, and then more went everywhere. So
I don't remember that part of the match.
Oh, that's the
He was watching New Planet of the Apes.
You sent it to me.
Piece of shit was flying. I got my match of the night.
All right, John, what's your match?
My match of the night. That motherfucking CMLL versus Blackpool Combat Club. That shit was awesome. And Wheeler Yuta pulling out the win and looking like a fucking badass in his return. I love it. He even got a Yuta chant. It was great.
Yeah, that was true.
Absolutely.
Woo!
Those are both amazing matches, and both of those were going to be my pick. But again, this was a great show. Left, right, front, center, you name it. Everywhere had something great. And I'm going to say Briscoe and Brian Cage.
That was pretty bitchin', actually.
It was solid. Again, great showcase for 2 veterans who really deserve more in AEW. But
Redneck Kung Fu.
Yeah, that was a fantastic showcase for them. And those other 2 matches were flawless. But honestly, I highly recommend this whole show. If anyone, might have skipped this and this is your first time.
Why did you skip it?
Why are you watching this and not that? Make sure you go check that out.
Watch them on 2 screens. Buy 2 screens. Watch them at the same time.
I appreciate it.
Yeah, there we go. You're appreciated. Someone appreciates you. And you know what? We all love you. We all love you. We all appreciate you. And we want to thank you for joining us on the AEW Dynamite recap. John, my boy, do you want to go through any of the remaining banners? Because I honestly kind of forgot which ones we went through.
Yeah, man. I just don't want the people to forget that they can find us every fucking day. Literally, you can never be alone. If you're home, if you're alone, your wife is fucking screaming at you, your kids are kicking you in the dick, and you're like, man, I just want to talk about pro wrestling. I just want to be with boys. I just want to talk shit. I want to fucking be toxic. Come to Dirt Sheet Radio and watch the shows with us every night. God damn it! Monday night after Raw, Tuesday night after NXT, Wednesday night after Dynamite, Wednesday midnight. You got the boys at the DSR news show that you can watch at any time, but it's more fun to watch live in the middle of the night because we say whatever the fuck we want. You also got Thursday night Impact, Friday night SmackDown, CJ and Tyler's Level Up Adventure.
So handsome.
The 3NT Wrestling podcast on Sundays, and this Saturday, or this Sunday, actually. You get 3NT in the morning, but you get the NXT Battleground post-show rewind. NXT coming from the UFC Apex Arena. It's like the WWE PC, but with a lot more monster energy. But that is us, and now we can thank you for joining us.
What about the Delphin podcast?
Jersey Radio. Fuck yeah. Delphin Podcasts.
I was waiting to say, you guys never mentioned that one. I was like, what the hell?
Our wonderful producers, Delphin Pod, they host a slew of podcasts on the podcast network, all covering cinema, pop culture, Star Wars, Marvel. Just go over to Delphin Pod. Google fucking Delphin Pod and look at all their wonderful podcasts, because my favorite one of theirs is called Dirt Sheet Radio, and it'll air live later tonight.
Yes. That sounds so familiar.
This is one of the greatest.
Just check us out.
Tip number 1.
See you in a little while.
Good night, guys.
Good night.